Hi everybody, it's me, Carrie, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Farmington Hills, Michigan. I am going to talk about my favorite tool, pardon me while I get my video ready, because I am taping this live, although I plan on holding on to this one so that y'all can see it as often as you would like. I'm going to talk about the Stamparatus. So let me just adjust a little bit to see that we are all in frame. It looks like it. Okay, so let's get a little housekeeping out of the way while some of you pop on. Again, like I said, I'm Carrie Beglow. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. My Stampin' Up! Website is MemoryINKers.com. That's where you will go for all your shopping. I'm going to remove this. This is the November 2022 hostess code. So if you're watching this live or in the month of November 22, the hostess code is SVHBXVNE. But because I'm planning to keep this video and be able to repeat it as people ask me about the Stamparatus, I'm going to take that off. So if you are planning on shopping, you can look for my hostess code here on my Facebook page, facebook.com/MemoryInkers, or shoot me an email, MemoryInkers@gmail.com, or just, place your order as you choose. But I just wanted you to be aware of why I was removing that from you. Okay, so this is by far my favorite tool. It is a stamp positioner, which there are many of them on the market. There are, and I'd be foolish to think that some of you don't already have one. So why would you want the Stamparatus instead of something you've previously purchased? Well, today's training video is going to show you several techniques. Many of you have seen this in the past. Some of you have seen it when I've done my in-person events, but I'm going to try to cover everything on this video from start to finish and offer you an ongoing gift when you purchase the Stamparatus. As of November 2022, the Stamparatus costs $49. Now, I'm saying that because in our world, prices can go up, but I don't expect this one to go up. I just want you guys to know that, in this world, that's what happens, right? So it is number 146276 on my website, MemoryInkers.com. All right, so when you get your Stamparatus, it's going to come in a box. You will get this little instructional booklet that tells you about all of the pieces and what you get in several languages. Of course, I can only sell it to you in America. So basically it shows you how to use it. Okay, this is fun. It's nice. It's pictures, but I think it's good to have a video to show you how to do it. So what you get is this little tiny instruction booklet. You get two of our awesome hinged plates. Okay, you see the hinges on them, and you can see that there are places for them here. You get this little foam mat. This comes with it. We will discuss this in just a second. And then the base has the grid in US inches, okay, rather than centimeters. All right, and it's 7 inches by 7 inches. There's a little extra, obviously, here. You notice that the hinges are only on 2 sides, which leaves this side open. So you can get 12 by 12 paper in there. And I have done videos showing you how to do a border all the way across a 12-inch page. Okay, I can do another one if you guys are interested. I am not doing that today. This piece right here, this is for when you have photopolymer stamps. You put it in when it's photopolymer, and what I mean by that is the clear stamps. Excuse me while I look to see what I'm grabbing here. Okay, so this is considered photopolymer. They are the clear stamps, okay? we aren't going to be using this one, so I'm going to pull that one out while we have it here. And so that's photopolymer, so I would leave this piece of foam on there. If it is the, I'm looking to see if I have one handy. I apologize. Here we go. If it is a red rubber stamp, which has the foam backing, is not clear, you would take this away. Okay, that is how we take care of the depth of the project, rather than, I know there's one on the market that has a flat side and then a side that's like bumpied up. Ours does not. All the sides are exactly the same. What's cool about that, because they come off, you actually have 4 ways that you can stamp. Not just 1, not just 2, but 4. Okay, so these are all those things. Plus, you get 2 of the, they're like the earth magnets. They're very strong. I have put washi tape on mine because you want to be careful with them. You don't want to get them close to each other because they will snap together and they can break. But you see that there is compartments underneath here so that you can put them away and keep them away from each other. All right, and these, of course, magnetize onto your Stamparatus. Even when you have the foam, it is still going to magnetize. Now, when I'm working with this, I take my magnets and I slide them to the sides over here, keeping them distant from each other so that when I'm moving papers or whatever, they are out of the way. So that's tip number 1. All right, so now what? Well, one of the options that you have with the Stamparatus is you can purchase these mini grid papers. They are awesome. You get, I believe, 50 for $6.50. I use them all the time, not just on my Stamparatus. I use them all the time. So if you want to have a grid paper on there for over stamping and stuff, especially with your foam mat, they're a good thing. But if you're only using photopolymer, this will wipe off. As long as you're not using any permanent inks, if you're using our water-based inks, you'll be fine. Stays on. You want to have the grid paper down. All right, so the other thing I want to say is you're going to see that I very often do not move this mat. I just leave it on. You know, it doesn't hurt to leave it on, so I do. So let's get started. We are going to do a fun sample right now. I'm looking for my piece. And this is a 4-inch by 5 1/4 piece of basic white cardstock. And I'm going to put some temporary adhesive on here. Okay, we don't sell temporary adhesive, but all of you crafters, at least as of November of 2022, we don't. All of you know where to find it. Or I could have magnet, which I like to do anyway to keep this paper from flip-flopping around. So I am going to do that. Now you can see, I haven't lined it up straight, but I am lining it up on this marker here. I like to move it away from the edge. You don't have to. You do get a cleaner stamp, though, when you're a little bit away from the edge. All right, now here's how these work. These hinge, right? So you stamp, and then they hinge. They can go on both sides. And to put them on, you do them straight up like I am here. Bend them over. Don't try to lift them like that. They won't. They lock in place. So when you're ready to take it off, lift it straight up. Do not store them with the plates attached because you can crack them, okay? And we don't want that because when they close, let me show you here. When they close, they don't sit right here. See how can you see how it's lifted? So that's what I mean by cracking. Something heavy could get put on it. You can damage your plates, and so we don't want that to happen. So just take them off when you store them. I do it all the time. I just slide them in like this and then put them away. All right, so let us start with this. We're going to do the word happy. And I am going to start it at the top of the page here. And all you do is line it up, which you guys know. And I every time I told everybody not to call. I am not quite sure how that happened. Oh, gosh. Every time I'm doing a really important video, and they're calling again. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. That is just so professional, don't you think? I don't know why that's happening, but it's very frustrating. Okay. So now I'm going to take my plate. So I've lined it up. And I'm going to take my plate, close it on it, and then lift it up. Oh, I forgot to put that piece in place. So, and that is why, and now I've moved it, but it should be okay. I should start this over, but I'm live. So live happens, right? It's just the nature of the beast. So if you're watching this a year from now, just laugh along with me. Okay, so now I have it where I want it to go, and I'm going to use a Night of Navy, or a Pacific Point Stampin' Spot. Now, for Stampin' Up, you can purchase a package of 8 stamps, or little ink spots, okay? They are $24 for all 8. The colors are in the catalog, but I will read them to you. Daffodil Delight, Basic Gray, Shaded Spruce, Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green, Real Red, Gorgeous Grape, and Coastal Cabana. Okay, so you can purchase this, and or you can purchase blank ones. These are completely blank, and they cost, sorry, I have to look that up. You get 5 of them for $9. So you will see that I have a few that I have inked myself. Even though this comes in this multi-pack, I get a lot of them like this through kits that Stampin' Up! Sells, and Paper Pumpkin. Those of you who subscribe know that you start to collect these spots, and they're awesome, awesome for the Stamparatus, because you just have a big pad will work, but you've got this small one that you can then ink it up really easily, like that. Okay, and as you know, how a stamp positioner works is, whoops, I have moved. Okay, there we go. So now I can press. I have made myself this little ball. This was made with an old cookie press, and I tore off the fuzzy off of a whiteboard eraser. But a whiteboard eraser on its own, which is what I used for quite a while, will work. It just saves, this just feels better in my hand, but you can do it with your fingers. It's not a problem. So then when you lift up, oh look, that did not stamp as well as I would like it to, right? That doesn't look good. So that is why a stamp positioner is so cool. I don't have to worry about that. I'm just going to press on that Y a little bit harder. And there you go. It looks perfect, right? So that is the basics of what a stamp positioner will do. It will let you fix errors. But why am I so excited about the Stamparatus and its hinged plates? I will show you. I am going to ink this up again. And try and get it all. I'm going to lift the plate up, move it down one hinge. So you can see I've skipped a hinge. Now you'll have to check with every single one of your, every stamp. Sometimes you need 2 hinges because it's maybe a bigger stamp. But now as I'm pressing, I am going to get perfect placement of the next happy. Move it down again, re-ink it, and you can just keep going. As you can see. And you just continue along doing that. And of course it works if you want to do it the other way. Maybe you've got something going across this way, or you're left-handed, you want to switch the plate around, doesn't matter. This is how you can do that awesome hinge step stamping. To my knowledge, as of today, November 2022, we have the patent on this hinge step. Nobody else can do this hinge step stamping. That is what makes us so awesome. So let me show you a card that I did using the hinge step stamping. You can see it's basically the same. I've trimmed it down, but now I've got perfectly placed happies. There's probably one under here, but I decided to do the birthday across. So, I mean, how do you not love that? So, that is our first project, is the hinge step stamping. So I'm going to move that out of the way now. Set that aside. Now, one of the other things that I like to recommend with the Stamparatus is our Simply Chamois. Whoops, let me fix that. Our Simply Chamois tool comes in a cello bag that's sealed all the way around, and when you get it, it's very, very soft. It's a beautiful color when you first get it, but when it dries out, it is very hard. You can see I have mine cut. I cut mine into pieces specifically for my Stamparatus, because then I can keep it in a piece of Tupperware, and we all love our Tupperware. And I'm going to start by cleaning up what I got on my table there. But see how it's easy in my hand? You want to, if you decide you want to do this, you want to cut your chamois while it is soft. It is very, very hard to cut and make it look clean and pretty while it is hard. So that is one of my favorite add-ons is the chamois. I will be showing you a list of things that I recommend to go with your Stamparatus as we go along. So I'm going to put away this, put my hinge back in place just so I'm ready. Also, this is from the Biggest Swish stamp set. It is currently available right now. Hopefully, when you're seeing this, it'll still be available, but it's a great stamp set. It is in the annual catalog. Okay, now let's go on to our next project. This is probably one of my favorite tips. How many of you out there, you buy a kit and you love your kits like Paper Pumpkin or some of the other kits that Stampin' Up! Sells, and you open it up and you've got all these wonderful ideas, and then you've got all of, like, hold on, see, a spot comes with it. So pardon me while I'm pulling all this out kind of in a strange way. So you've got your stamp set, if it comes with one, or maybe it doesn't, but now you've got all these labels. Now they give you extra labels, which is really nice, but how many of you have like used up all your labels, or you flip them over and the flip over doesn't have the nice coloring, right? So now what do? Well, that's a bummer. You have to cut them yourself or whatever. Well, for this one, I am going to show you one of my favorite tricks with the Stamparatus. I am going to put this Open Me just anywhere. In fact, I'm going to do it a little floopy. Let's do it like that so I have room. So it's, you know, I didn't put it on there very good. It's obviously very, very, very crooked. Okay. I'm going to hold this in place for right now. I'm going to ink this up in the Cherry Cobbler Stampin' Spot that came with this kit. So now I've inked it up nice. I'm going to stamp it onto my sheet. Now I could, this is photopolymer, so you noticed I did not remove the foam, which you can, and I could have stamped directly onto the base plate because it should wipe off. This is a water-based ink, but I didn't want to do that, so I am going to tear off one of the labels. Let's take this one at the top. So I'm going to take off one of these labels, all right? Then let me move that. And I am now going to line this up. Now I know that there's a hole, so I want to make sure I move the hole. And I'm just going to line it up, all right? And then I can place my magnets on it. I'm going to take the little tag I'm going to set it into this open hole right here where the words are peeking through. All right, if you want to put a little temporary adhesive on the back, that's fine. I'm going to wing it. I'm going to ink that back up and flip it over. And now I don't have to worry because now it has stamped exactly where I wanted it to stamp. And I don't have to worry about wasting labels. I have been doing Stampin' Up! For, as of now, just shy of 22 years. I am not the perfect stamper. I tell you all the time, if you are looking for the perfect demonstrator, you need to keep looking because it's not me. I am imperfect. I make mistakes. And even though I lined this up, I can see it's not perfectly straight because I did it. So, but you can see I did it earlier and it was perfectly straight. So now I've got that tag and it looks beautiful. And I haven't wasted any of my other tags. So, I mean, to me, that's a big deal because I like kits and I like to get things that are fun. So, Jets, that is one of my favorite tips is when you buy a kit or you buy a package of labels or whatever, you can then use them and not waste any. And in case you did not know, Paper Pumpkin is a monthly subscription. You can buy 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or a year, or you can sign up for it to just be automatic. So if you have questions about Paper Pumpkin, let me know. But we're talking Stamparatus today. So, what is next? Let us see. Oh, forgot to put that with Paper Pumpkin. All right. So, one of the things that people really like to see me make, and I am looking for, okay, this is a little template that they are available kind of everywhere. You can find them, but I'm going to be using this one, which I drew up following the directions of someone else, and I just printed it. It's actually copy. I drew it onto a piece of grid paper, and then I just made copies. You can see there's another one on the other side that's a different template. We're going to use this one. Now, this is going to be part of my deal that I'm going to offer you. All right, so don't forget about this. But this is something that people really, really like. So, what is this? This is how you make a circle card. And I am going to show you how that works. So I'm taking the Happiness Abounds stamp set, and I am going to grab this little flower right here, just because I know that that one works. So I've grabbed that out of the Happiness Abounds stamp. Oh, I forgot to put that back, and I forgot to clean it. So let me do that real quick, or I will lose it. There we go. And I'm going to stick it on there and hope it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. So, some of you have seen me do this and you always get excited about it and people always ask me about the template. I'm going to be able to get you the template for free. So, we will talk about that in a minute. So now what I'm going to do is, because I know that this is made for a square, okay? And it does tell you the inches. The small one is 2 inches, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4. So if you did a 4-inch square, which you then could put onto a card or use as a base on your scrapbook page, that would work. But I want to do it onto a piece of a full piece of cardstock. So this is very vanilla cardstock, and it is 4 inches by 5.25. So all I'm going to do is make sure that where I have it set will let me spin it the way I know that I want to spin it. And I can see now here it does not. So I'm going to scoot it over a little bit and make sure that I can fit everywhere. All right, so now I know that it can. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to put this on there. Then I'm going to take some temporary adhesive, and I'm just going to put it, my piece is laminated, okay? So I know that I can clean that off. Laminating is a good plan. So I'm going to start with it. I'm going to start with it right up here on this blue line in the, I'm going to do the corner. because that'll make more sense to you. Okay, so that's where I want to start. So I'm going to take my flower and I am going to put it where it fits inside those blue lines. Okay, so now I know that it fits inside these blue lines. All right, I hope that is making sense. And I'm trying not to put my head in the picture. Then we're going to grab that. Okay, and I have that ready. And then I am going to use, I'm going to set this in the corner here. And I have that temporary adhesive on there. And I'm going to grab, I'm going to go ahead and use I'm going to use a dark color just so you guys can see it. So I'm going to go back to Night of Navy. In the sample I'm going to show you, I did use our Memento ink pad, but I want to show you real quick. And I forgot I wanted to make a blank spot into a Memento ink pad, and I totally forgot to do it because I'm so used to just grabbing it. Okay, so now I'm going to ink that really good. Not worried that it moved. It did smudge it a little bit, but for sample purposes, it'll be okay. Now I'm going to take this, all right, and I am going to spin it so that now it's in these square lines. Okay, ink it up again. Flip it. It is going off a little bit. I don't care. I'm not worried about it. I'm just trying to make a circle. I am going to take it and spin it. I think I didn't move it up high enough, and that's why. Normally I start here. Let's do that. Starting over. Starting over. Perfection is overrated. Don't forget that. All right, so that I don't make a big mess, I'm just going to do that. All right, so I'm going to start over so that doesn't happen. I will start down here and center it. That should work. If this doesn't work, you guys have seen me do this a million times, but you know how it is when I'm doing a live. I kind of like lose my mind. Okay, not worried about that coming off. I'm going to ink this up. And let's try that again. There we go. Now it's not off the page. So now when I lift it up, I can spin it this way. So this is my correction and my error for you. Start with the square and then turn it to the points. Okay? Ink it again. Stamp. This flower does overlap on itself. You will see that there are other images that will fit perfect and they make perfect. Now see, look, this is why stamp positioners are just the coolest thing ever. I always have to think about what end. There we go. That's better. And then I'm going to spin it again. This template is so handy, and I am going to give it to you for free. But like I said, you can find it on the internet. When you purchase your Stamparatus with me at MemoryINKers.com, I will be sending you this and a instruction booklet that I created a few years ago that everybody just loves, that gives you the step-by-step directions on how to do all of these projects. But look, you can already see it coming together, right? You can already see it. All you have to do is just keep following the directions. And I love this tip. I'm actually really liking this in Night of Navy. That's actually very pretty. And you just continue to spin. I'm going to keep going just so you guys know that it really does work, even with my beginning oopsie. And yeah, I see that smudge. I know. That was because of my error before. I got it on the template, so it kind of messed it up, but that's okay. And you just continue spinning, and you'll know when you're done when your circle is complete. Now I could stop this. Maybe I'm giving it to somebody whose name starts with a C, and wouldn't that be pretty? You could do that too. And then one last time into this corner. Yep, I saw it move. So isn't that cool? It's just an awesome, awesome way to make a big circle out of a pretty design that you like. Now, this looks a little bit strange, right? Because I used one that has a little tail. You could put something in the center, which is what I did with the card that I created. It's the same flower, and then I just used this larger flower from the stamp set, and it has a die to cut it out and the leaves. And that is how I made this card, just making circles. But you can see how fun this could be with so many different, I mean, you could do animals and all kinds of things spinning around in a circle. It's very cool. And like I said, a variety of sizes. So that is one of the things that, yet another thing that I love about the Stamparatus is its versatility to do fun stuff. Now, if you have this template and you have a different stamp positioner, and you haven't made the investment in this awesome one yet, why, I don't know. We won't talk about that. But this template would work on other ones too. So I don't want you to think that that's an exclusive thing to the Stamparatus. It is not. But it is an exclusive perk from me to get yours. Now, yours will be paper. I do recommend that you... Oh, look, I'm about to squish a stamp. There we go. I do recommend that you laminate it like I did. Because you saw I just wiped it off where I got some stuff on it. And yours will be double-sided too. I have shown how to do this, but it is also in the booklet that I will send you when you purchase the Stamparatus from me and you use my MemoryINKers.com. So yeah, it has to be purchased through me, and I will send this to you. And it does have directions for a lot of the different things that I have showed you. Here's the directions on how to use this side of the template. If you have any questions, you can certainly ask me. So there is another fun project. All right, so here is probably the wow that I get all the time. This is, oops, I dropped my paper. I am going to show you how to do mirror stamping. I'm going to use this stamp right here, and we're going to mirror it. You see, it only goes one way. So I'm going to show you how we do that. So let me move those out of the way. I'm going to move that too because we don't really need it. But we do need, as soon as I can find it, we do need a silicone mat, which Stampin' Up! Does sell. It is number 127853, and it's $6.50. Highly recommend that you add this to your order when you purchase your Stamparatus, or if you have a Stamparatus, that you place an order for this. I'm going to show you some other things that are pretty cool to have as extras. They're not necessary. This is not necessary, but if you want to do this technique, it is. So this piece is cut larger than I want. You can see it's bigger. You can make it the exact same size once you do the math, but I wanted to show you what I tend to do is I put it on the silicone mat, okay? I then hold the silicone mat in place, and I hold my piece of cardstock in place. Then, now this is where you have to do some thinking. So that is what I did not tell you. I apologize. I have lined this up to the edge of the silicone mat because I want to remember where I have placed it. That is very, very important. So it is placed to the edge of the silicone mat and to the top of the Stamparatus. Okay? All right, so now let's take out that adorable little squirrel from the Nuts About You stamp set. And I am going to place him where I think is about the center. And if you want to do perfect math, feel free. You know how I feel about perfectionism. Normally I have this set up and ready for you guys so you can see, and I know it's perfect. I have it sitting on here, but I wanted to show you real life. And you will know, even if mine doesn't line up perfectly, a little practice, you get it to line up. So I like to be real when I am stamping. All right, so I'm going to grab him, stick him on there. Okay, like I said, I'm not too worried right now about that. I'm going to use Early Espresso. This stamp, this ink pad also came in a kit. And I'm going to ink him up and press down. So there he is. Cute, right? Now I'm going to move this. I'll leave this right here. I'm going to ink him up again. Now, on this card, I inked him up in another color, but for this demonstration, I'm just going to show you how I did this. Inking him up. Want to make sure he's good and inked. I'm going to set it down, and I'm going to stamp right onto that silicone mat. And then I am going to ink him again because I want him super inky. Inky is important in this technique. Okay? All right, so now I have this one. I am going to take it and I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to put it at the top because I know I was lined up here. I'm going to line it up with the edge of my silicone mat. I am going to set it down. And then I'm not going to ink it again. I'm just going to press. I really want to press this one good because the silicone mat is now acting like an ink pad. Here's the interesting thing about this, though, is now you've got an image on this side and you have an image on the other side. But you see how they are perfectly lined up? They're not as close and kissy, but it's still really cute, right? And then I can do the same thing with, now this is a two-step stamp, so you can do the same thing with the inside. Okay, so here's the inside, here's the little pine cone. Or you can just color it with a blends marker or watercolor pencils or the coloring of your choice. But it will work exactly the same way as that. Now, one of the things I want to show you is, remember how I said this one has it on the other side? It's a perfect mirror image. And what I did, this is one I did a few years ago. This is a little puppy, and look, how fun is that? That makes a great tag. This would be really cute to do with our any of our Christmas stamps, especially like the gnomes. You could use the gnomes and stamp any of these images and make them reversible, and then you can cut them out with the dies, and the dies even have a little piece right here that will poke the hole for you in the exact perfect spot. So yeah, there's just a lot of, this is always a wow when I'm doing it, when people get very excited. So if you want to do the mirror image stamp, and look at how well the second, I mean, it's a little light right there, but that's probably because I didn't push hard enough. But look at how well it comes out. The trick I find is to ink it twice before you put it on your silicone mat. That is what I think works for it the best. Now, there are other things you can do with this set that I haven't set up cards for, but I do want to tell you about them. So let me get this stuff out of the way, and I will give you just a fake demo, if you want to call it that, of what you can do. So I'm going to grab this piece that I used to stamp on, and I'm going to move my little squirrel, and I am going to grab this sentiment set just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So let us pretend that this is a piece of cardstock. Now this stamp set is pretty cool. It does come with a lot of dies. And none of these are going to make sense. I've done this, and you'll see it in the booklet. If you purchase the Stamparatus with me, you will see it in the booklet. Sorry for the noise. I did it with a bunch of sentiments for Christmas. You could do it with a bunch for birthday. So I'm going to say that this is, right here is my card. So I'm going to take some of these, and I'm just going to line them up. Let's do one that is crooked. I'm going to just set that one there for just a moment, because this is going to take both of my hinges. And just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So some of these I am going to move on to the other page. I want to make sure that they're right side up. Sorry. I'll do that one this way. But you're kind of getting the idea. I'm just sort of sticking stamps everywhere, right? And when you see this, it's not going to make any sense when I stamp it. I know that. Okay. So now I'm looking at that going, okay, I like this idea, but they're a little close together. So I'm going to move these two and these two for now. And I'm going to pick up these. Let me hold down my paper. And I'm just going to grab any color. We're going to go with Gorgeous Grape, which is in... I do have another trick to show you guys, by the way. I forgot I had it sitting here. This is called Subway Tile, what I'm doing. So now I'm only doing this so that I can see where those go. I know that didn't stamp well, so let me press that a little bit more. Okay, good enough. So now I'm going to take this one, and I know it was over here, and I think I had one down here. All right, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to flip it over, and I am going to grab these pieces right here. You're going to want to make sure your papers don't move like mine are. I'm going to grab some Real Red. I'm going to ink those up. You could do them in different colors because these two are far enough away that you certainly could do it. Oops, I forgot that was on there. Let me move that. Okay. Then I'm going to take the last ones and stick them up here. I don't know why this is called Subway Tile. I know someone is going to ask me that. I don't know. I did not make up this idea. This was someone else's idea. So now I am going to grab the other plate, because I'm assuming we're making a lot of these. All right. So like the one that I did in the book is a holiday card front. And let me see if I can find it real quick in the book, as soon as I figure out where I put my book. Huh. Well, I'll find it and I'll show you eventually. All right, so grabbing another color, we're going to go with this Granny Apple Green. Stop moving, paper. Photopolymer stamps do want to stick to paper. That is just the way they are. So don't let that freak you out when it happens. Just be prepared for it. And I wasn't. So, all right. So now I've got these. So, okay, that's terrible. Which is why you want a stamp positioner, right? So you can re-ink and re-stamp. That definitely needs re-inking. All All right, good enough. Good enough for the demo, right? So you can see how if that were a card and you wanted the words all over your card front, you could do that. Oh, here's my book. So the directions for this are in here. Let me find them for you. There it is. It's called Subway Tile. And you'll be able to read this in there. But these are all Christmas sentiments going all over. And I used a bunch of different colors for this example. But it makes a really fun card. And you know, a lot of people like to do that now with words all over everything. So that is how that is done. The Subway Tile. And let me clean this up a little bit. Here I have stuff everywhere, 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 which is how I stamp. I don't know how you guys stamp, but that is how I stamp. Everything, everywhere. Everywhere I can put stuff. I do. So, again, that is why the having two hinge plates is just a really cool thing. That's just one reason. But if you're doing like any kind of multiple packs, those of you who sell your cards, I know there's a lot of you out there that do. You sell your cards at craft fairs, or you sell them to businesses that then put them on their counters for you. This is a really wonderful way to make multiples. I always think of it definitely now during the holidays. People are making like a ton of holiday cards, and so they need to have something so that they can quickly do it. So if you had all of your holiday items on these four sides of the two hinged plates, you will be able to just kind of flip, 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 and you're making your cards like crazy. All you would have to do is mark where you're going to be putting your, putting your card base. When I'm doing that, I just make marks. I just make marks on this so I know where it is. Okay, so that's that. Let's flip that over. All right, now here is the last one. I have to figure out where I put it. I have so many ideas for you guys. Here it is. Yay, I didn't lose it. Okay, so this is a rainbow design. When you have one of these big stamps, they can be kind of, honestly, a pain to stamp with. We do sell a block that will hold them, but it is a heavy block. And so I'm sorry, I'm looking for a piece of cardstock, you guys. So here's a tip. I cut my cardstock so I have it ready. I don't know how many of you guys do that, but I do prepare cardstock because I make so many cards, I have to be ready. So because this is big, you're definitely going to want to use some kind of a temporary adhesive to put this down on here. And I'm just going to line it up right there just so that I know where it is. I know it's on this corner. And then I am going to put my magnets onto this because I don't want them on here because this is bigger, right? So now I'm going to lay that over. And I'm going to turn down my hinge, and now it's on there. This is so much easier when you're doing a big background stamp than trying to lift the block. Plus, these big ones sometimes need extra stamping because they are so big. All right, so I'm going to show you how to use a faded look with this this particular stamp. This works really great if you have something that is like a big sentiment and you want to rainbow it out, but I'm going to just do it very quickly for you guys. I'm going to start with the Daffodil Delight. This does come in this pack right here of the 8. I had, like I said, I had a bunch of these already from kits, so I just made myself a Daffodil Delight. I have quite a few that I made myself, actually. I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to ink it up about 1/3 of the way, maybe a little bit more, because this is the lightest color. So I'm starting with the lightest color, Daffodil Delight, and I am going to then press, and look at how pretty. Isn't that pretty? Now, I'm not worried about that. Not worried about it at all. So now I am going to take, let's do the Granny Apple Green. We're going to do Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to do the middle third. Maybe a little less than the middle third. Granny Apple Green is not going to be a huge color in here. I've overlapped where I did the yellow, so that's going to change the color a little bit. And then, here we go. It's going to go in the exact same spot. So you can see now the color is changing. Then I'm going to take Shaded Spruce and I'm going to finish it off. I want to make sure I go to where I had the Granny Apple Green in there. Maybe dip it in some weird spots so that it's not even. And there we go. Now I have a rainbow of dots. Okay. These are probably not the best color choices, but let me show you what I did. I made this one. I did it the other direction, and I used different colors. But now I have all of these fun colors. For this one, I used the Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, and the Gorgeous Grape. Those are all in this 8-pack right here. And then this is from that same words that I used. This is the word set that I used. There it is. Happy, wishing you the happiest birthday. Now I've made a mess of mine, so don't just ignore, because I just sort of tossed them all back in there. But these are the dies that come with it. You will see that I've put, I used a paint pen because they're so huge. And this magnet is one of the magnets from that, can't think of the name of it, but that store that sells all the magnet plates and stuff. So all you have to do is you kind of play with it to figure out which one is it going to fit to cut it out. It keeps wanting to jump over to that magnet, sorry. And then you'll be able to tell. Now it fits very tight. Let me move this. They fit very tight. So when I was putting it on there, I'm like, ooh, I hope, the first time, oh my gosh, is it going to cut off the words? No, it's just very, very tight. And then these candles are actually in this kit also. They are right up here. There are quite a few little extra things in here for you to do. So this is a pretty cool bundle. And it can be cut out with our mini cut and emboss too, if you only have the mini. But isn't that fun? Isn't that fun to have a rainbow? It is so awesome. So I have told you about using large stamps. I have told you about using a rainbow effect in your cards. In my booklet, you will see a different sample where I used a big word stamp set and made it a rainbow design. So you've got all that, plus this just makes it so much easier to do this type of a stamp. Don't know what I do. There's the box. Okay, so let's go over everything, and then I'm going to tell you some of the things that I love and suggest that you order with your Stamparatus. Now remember, the Stamparatus, this makes an amazing gift for yourself, for your friends. Do you have somebody who has arthritis? This is the gift for somebody who has arthritis, because they don't have to do it. Just go, and if you don't have time to make them one of these, go and buy a dry erase board marker or eraser, and they'll be able to use it easier, because they may have trouble pressing it with their hands. But something that they can grip, will make them very happy. Now, most dry erase boards are kind of like this shape, but it'll still be easier for them. So that's my suggestion. So now, again, let's go over everything you get with the Stamparatus, which is $49. You get 2 of these amazing hinged plates, again, exclusive to Stampin' Up!, which gives you 4 sides to your stamping. You get 2 of the earth magnets, which have a place to be in the back. The back does have grippers, the underneath. You get this foam mat for when you're doing photopolymer. It also comes with this washable base. So, and that would be when you're using your red rubber stamps. Okay, so that is everything that comes with the Stamparatus, including this little instructional book. things that I highly recommend are getting the paper mats. Again, they are $6.50 and they fit perfectly on there. This is actually almost always what I use when I'm stamping, even on my big desk, because this is, where do you get the case for your spots? I made that. That was actually a Stampin' Up. It was a, I don't know, it was like a little mini, it was called a mini paper pumpkin box. And you know what? I'm not even sure if we still have them in the catalog, but talk to me and I'll look that up for you, Donna, and I'll respond after and let you know for sure. But it also fits in like a piece of Tupperware. I do recommend somehow sealing them because they are smaller. I would definitely buy the MemoryINKers for them because they're not going to hold as much ink as a regular ink pad. So anyway, the classic, the small grid paper, it's number 149621. It's $6.50 and you get 50 sheets. This is the deluxe foam mat. So if you want to have something like this, but you use mostly photopolymer, this is perfect because you've got the foam, you have a wipeable mat. This is $6, $150,866. So you don't need it, but if you like to be able to just wipe it off and you don't want to use the grid paper, it's a good option. So there's that. The other thing is, of course, where did I put it? I'm moving things around and I don't know why. The ink, oh, here it is right in front of me. The little mini ink pad collection. That is the classic Stampin' Spots. It's number 153183. It's $24 for 8 1-inch squares. Basic Gray, Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, Real Red, and Shaded Spruce. So it gives you a great variety of colors. Again, you can also purchase the uninked. You get 5 uninked spots. Let me open this up so you see. I put labels on mine, and all I did was I used like return address labels, that kind of stuff, those clear ones that you get, or if you have label sheets. But they come like this. They're totally uninked, and you just use a re-inker. Now, you really need to fill them, because it's going to take a while for it to soak in. Just don't overfill them, because I re-inked this one, and this one was one that I had from a kit, and you can see it kind of leaked over. Also, you don't want to store these upside down because the ink will flow out. They're not like our regular ink pads, and so I want to make sure that's very clear. So you get 5 of the uninked ones for $9. That's 1411822. But again, if you buy any of the Stampin' Up kits, if they have a stamp set with them, they're going to have an ink spot in some color. If you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you know you've probably been collecting them. The foam mat. This is a really great tool to have. The foam mat is not on my list. Why is it not on my list? And so I forgot to look up the price. Give me 1 second here. I have it somewhere where I do not know, but let me look that up for you real quick in the catalog, which when I make videos, everything is everywhere. I remember looking this one up. That's so funny that I don't see it on my sheet. So, give me a minute just to find it. How weird, right? You guys love watching me flip through the catalog. I know. I'm so sorry. Okay, there it is. It is silicone craft sheet, $6.50, number 127853. Thought I was so organized, and I was wrong. The other thing is the Take Your Pick tool. This is just a great add-on for anything. This is only $10, you guys. It makes a really great stocking stuffer for one of your friends. So you might want to think about that. The Take Your Pick tool is number 144107, and it's only $10, and you can get putty refills. It has other pieces that go with it too. They pop on and off, and it also has a Take Your Pick tool brush. So when you purchase the Stamparatus from me, you will receive, so you remember, you have to make sure MemoryINKers.com, and then make sure it has my name, Carrie Beglow, as your buyer. And I know you want it to be larger, Donna, but I'm trying to keep everything out, so I apologize. You will get the my Stamparatus techniques and projects for it. It does in here list all of the other things that I just told you about in here. It kind of gives you care instructions, tells you how to do that 12 by 12 page I was talking to you about. It has everything in here. Here's the rainbow images, which you saw me do with the dots. Here's another hinge step stamping, subway tile, circle stamping, which you saw me do. That's this one. Okay, that's the circle stamping one. And then it's got the mirror image, so it shows you how to do that. The balanced image, which is on the back of this the circle. It's going to be on the back because you're going to get that as well. And let's see what all is in here. How to do the die cuts like I showed you with the labels. You can do the same thing with your die cuts. And how to center backgrounds. So all of that is in here, and some of it I did not even talk to you about today. So you're going to get that. You're going to get a copy of the template to make the circle stamp, the circle image, and for this image that makes, it shows you how to put the pieces of paper on there, and then it makes a particular design and how you can flip it around. That is explained more in here. I did not do that for you guys today, but if you scroll my Facebook page at facebook.com/MemoryInkers or my YouTube channel, you will find more on the Stamparatus there. So this is probably the coolest tool. Oh, and the last thing I didn't tell you about is the, I didn't mention again, is the Simply Chamois, which I have in an old stamp case. I just put it in an old stamp case. You've probably seen other demonstrators. They use it as their scrub, and they wet it, and they just keep it in here. I still use the Stampin' Scrub for most things. But I definitely love the Stampin' Chamois. That is number 147042, and it is $8. And it's 5 inches by 7 inches, and you just add water. So that's one thing about the Stampin' Chamois is you don't have to buy our Stampin' Mist Cleaner. So again, let me remind you of what we did today. I showed you how to use this awesome template to make a circle background. I showed you how to do hinge step stamping to make this fun card. I showed you how you could use it to do labels so you don't waste your labels. I showed you how to do a rainbow background. And I showed you to do how to do the wow project of the reversible stamping. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I do see your question, Donna. Yes, they do sell larger mats for you to stamp on. So I will post about that. I'll answer your question after I finish the video. But anyway, again, the Stamparatus, it is the coolest tool ever, ever, ever out there. It's the best stamp positioner, and I will tell you that I had another stamp positioner before the Stamparatus came out. Also, I was on the committee to help with suggestions and designs for the Stamparatus, so it is near and dear to my heart. It is true. It is though absolutely the best $49 you're going to spend on your crafting supplies. You will love it, love it, love it. And there are replacement magnets if you want extra. Sometimes I know I wish I had 4, and I do have extras, and I do grab them on occasion, but it comes with 2. You can buy more of the papers. You can buy the deluxe foam mat, all kinds of things like that. So have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed this presentation on the Stamparatus. Again, my favorite stamping tool ever. Wonderful gift for you to suggest to your family. Hey, contact Carrie, and she will tell you that what I want. By the way, just email me, MemoryINKers@gmail.com, and say, hey, Carrie, this is my wish list for my family. They will be contacting you, and I will have it. I will keep it on file. So when your husband or a family member calls, and I can say, well, she really wants the Stamparatus. That's her number one thing. Maybe they'll purchase it for you and you'll get it for your birthday or Christmas or an anniversary gift or something like that. Also, as a little incentive to do that, I did have a husband one time. A woman had, I believe it was $300, maybe a little more, on her wish list, and he bought everything. He just said, I'll just give her everything. I know. That was like, okay. So, again, here are all of the things I recommend that you purchase with it, and all of the item numbers. And so do a screenshot of that and you will have it handy for you. And again, I am Carrie Beglow, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Farmington Hills, Michigan. If you have questions about the Stamparatus or any other Stampin' Up! Products or techniques that you have seen here or that you're curious about, please reach out to me. My email is MemoryINKers@gmail.com. Have a blessed and wonderful day. I will see you soon. Bye.